What if the key to changing the world is changing your consciousness? Hi, welcome back to Insibook. Today, in A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle invites us to awaken beyond the ego-driven mind and step into the power of presence. This book isn't just spiritual theory, it's a call to dissolve the inner conflict that reflects in the outer world. Let's explore how to live with purpose, peace, and power from within. You stand at a threshold, sensing a deep unease within yourself, a subtle yet persistent feeling that something is fundamentally amiss, not merely with the world's apparent chaos and suffering, but with the very fabric of human experience, with the way consciousness itself operates. Perhaps you feel caught in recurring cycles of anxiety, dissatisfaction, and endless wanting, a pervasive sense of lack, even when external circumstances might suggest otherwise. Success, comfort, or security. This undercurrent of suffering, you begin to understand, isn't solely manufactured by difficult relationships, financial worries, or societal problems. Instead, its root lies far deeper, within the very structure of your own mind, within the consciousness that perceives and experiences life. The primary source of this pervasive suffering is what can be recognized as the ego, or the false self. This isn't merely about occasional arrogance or overt selfishness. It's a far more pervasive identification with the contents of your mind. Your thoughts, beliefs, memories, opinions, the myriad concepts you hold about yourself and others. You become deeply entangled with the narrative you construct about who you are, mistaking this mental construct, this conceptualized identity, for your true essence. This egoic structure is built entirely on the foundation of thought, and thought, by its very nature, is preoccupied with the past and the future. It constantly compares, judges, analyzes, categorizes, and labels everything it encounters. It inherently creates a sense of me versus the other, fostering a profound and often unconscious feeling of separation from life itself, from connection, from wholeness. This deep-seated sense of separateness generates a fundamental insecurity, a core feeling of incompleteness that the ego relentlessly tries to fill through external means: possessions, social status, achievements, validation from others, or specific relationship dynamics. It is a perpetual striving, a ceaseless seeking of external confirmation and fulfillment, because deep down it senses its own illusory nature, its foundation in nothingness. It is a construct that fears dissolution above all else. This egoic mind, driven by its need for form and its fear of the formless, is also the fertile ground for another insidious phenomenon: the pain body. Imagine a field of psychic energy accumulating within you, formed from all the emotional pain you have ever experienced: deep hurts, profound disappointments, lingering resentments, unprocessed traumas, injustices suffered, both from your own lived experiences and, perhaps surprisingly, inherited from humanity's collective past. This accumulation doesn't simply lie dormant within you. It has a life of its own, an intelligence fueled by past suffering. It lies dormant until triggered by an event, a thought, or a situation that resonates with its accumulated pain. When activated, the pain body seeks more of the same energetic resonance to feed upon. It draws you irresistibly into negative emotional states, amplifying them, creating dramatic reactions, irrational anger, deep sadness, paralyzing fear, or crushing despair. You might find yourself reenacting old emotional patterns, blaming others incessantly, creating unnecessary conflict, or becoming lost in debilitating depressive states, all fueled by this activated pain body. It is the past pain resurfacing, demanding to be felt, but often you are profoundly unaware of its presence, mistaking its accumulated energy and its dramatic narrative for your own true emotional state or even your core identity. You become the pain body, and its suffering becomes your perceived reality. It's akin to an addiction to emotional negativity, a craving for drama and conflict that keeps you trapped in a seemingly inescapable cycle of suffering, preventing you from experiencing the peace, the aliveness, and the profound joy that are your true nature. This collected negativity can even be passed down through generations, creating a collective psychic inheritance of suffering. Yet, the most profound and liberating insight is that this state of egoic consciousness and the persistent suffering it generates is not an immutable destiny. You possess the innate capacity to awaken from this deep-seated delusion, from this pervasive dream of the ego. This awakening, this radical transformation of consciousness, is the central theme, the fundamental path towards what can be understood as a new earth, not necessarily a physical place or a future utopia, but a profound transformation of the human psyche, a fundamental shift in the collective state of being. This isn't about becoming a different person, achieving some distant spiritual goal, or developing superhuman abilities. It is about realizing your true nature, which is already present, always available, beneath the layers of conditioned thought patterns, emotional conditioning, and egoic identification. Your true nature is consciousness itself, the unborn, indestructible awareness that serves as the vast, unchanging space in which all experiences, thoughts, emotions, sensations, external events, memories, and projections appear and disappear, like clouds passing through the sky. The primary key to unlocking this awakening, to shifting from identification with the form of the ego to recognition of your formless being, lies in the immense power of the present moment. The ego, with its inherent focus on past regrets and future anxieties, constantly pulls you away from the now. It thrives on the illusion that happiness, fulfillment, and security lie in some future attainment, some imagined perfection. But life, in its absolute fullness and vibrancy, happens only now. The present moment is the only point where you can truly connect with your true being, the timeless, ever-present dimension within you. To access this potent gateway, the core practice involves cultivating presence. Presence is the state of being fully aware, conscious, and alert in the now, without judgment, without mental resistance. It means observing the ceaseless stream of your thoughts and emotions, without getting lost in them, without believing their content as absolute truth. You learn to recognize the subtle yet persistent egoic patterns, the insistent need to be right, the automatic tendency to blame, the ceaseless mental chatter that fills silence, the constant anticipation of future problems or desires, not as who you are, but as patterns of thought and conditioning that are playing out within the field of your awareness. This act of observing, of witnessing your own mental and emotional landscape, is the beginning of profound disidentification. Instead of being completely swept away by anger, sadness, fear, or desire, you begin to notice, there is anger arising, or I am thinking thoughts of worry about the future, or this feeling of emptiness is present. This conscious act of noticing, of bringing your awareness to the mental and emotional content without judgment, creates a crucial space between you and that content. In this space, you realize unequivocally that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not even the sum total of your past experiences. You are the awareness, the silent witness, the conscious presence in which all these phenomena occur. This awareness is your direct connection to being, to the underlying formless reality that the ego constantly obscures. It's like waking up from a dream while still within the dreamscape. The dream may continue. Thoughts still arise. Emotions may still surface. External events still unfold. But you are no longer completely identified with them. You know, with a certainty that transcends thought, that you are the dreamer, the conscious presence witnessing the unfolding dream. When the pain body becomes activated, this practice of presence becomes not just helpful, but essential. Instead of reacting automatically, feeding it with more negative thoughts, amplifying its energy, or projecting its pain onto others, you can consciously turn your attention inward, towards the pain itself. You allow yourself to feel the emotional discomfort, the sensations in the body associated with it, without resistance. You don't try to push it away, intellectualize it excessively, or judge yourself for feeling it. You simply allow it to be there, observing its energetic quality, its physical manifestations, its accompanying mental narratives. This act of pure, non-judgmental witnessing, this conscious allowance of what is arising within you, is immensely powerful. It effectively starves the pain body, stopping its cycle of seeking reinforcement and perpetuating suffering. It's in this sacred space of acceptance, of radical presence with your own inner state, that the old pain can finally be processed, dissolved, and released. You are no longer caught in the cycle of recycling past suffering. You are allowing it to transmute into presence, wisdom, and deeper being. This is not passive resignation or apathy, but an active, conscious allowance that brings profound inner peace and liberation. As you consistently cultivate this state of presence, you begin to experience a deeper, more profound connection to life itself. The relentless striving, the pervasive anxiety, the ingrained feeling of needing something more or different from life gradually fades into the background. You discover a sense of stillness, of completeness, of inherent wholeness within the present moment, irrespective of external circumstances or the unfolding of events. This inner state is not dependent on achieving specific outcomes, acquiring certain possessions, or manipulating external conditions to your perceived advantage. It is a state of being, an unconditional peace that underlies all conditions, a deep sense of knowing that you are fundamentally okay, right here, right now. You start to notice the exquisite beauty in the ordinary, the vibrant aliveness in simple actions, the pure joy of just being. This fundamental inner shift profoundly impacts your relationships with others. The ego, with its inherent need for validation, its constant defensiveness, its tendency to project its own insecurities and unresolved issues onto others, often creates friction, misunderstanding, and conflict in interpersonal dynamics. When you bring presence into your interactions, you begin to see beyond the egoic masks and defenses of the other person, just as you are learning to see beyond your own. You become less reactive to their habitual patterns and projections, and far more capable of responding with genuine understanding, empathy, and compassion. You can communicate your needs clearly and directly without blame, listen with an open heart without judgment, and connect on a deeper, more authentic level, recognizing the shared consciousness, the underlying being that connects all individuals beneath the surface differences created by their egoic conditioning. Unconditional love, you realize, isn't about condoning negative behavior or tolerating abuse, but about recognizing the divine spark, the luminous presence within every being, seeing beyond the ego and the pain body to the essential goodness that resides at their core. This inner transformation also radically redefines your understanding of purpose and contribution. The ego-driven life seeks purpose primarily in external achievements, in accumulating status, power, or possessions, driving you relentlessly towards future goals and ambitions. But from the state of presence, purpose takes on a completely different, far more meaningful dimension. It's not so much about what you achieve or accomplish in the external world, but about the quality of consciousness you bring to whatever you do, to every action, thought, and interaction. Your primary purpose becomes living consciously, being fully present in each moment, and bringing awareness, acceptance, and love to your actions, your thoughts, and your interactions with life. True purpose unfolds naturally from this state of being. You find yourself guided intuitively, acting with clarity and effectiveness, not driven by egoic ambition or the fear of not being enough, but by a deeper alignment with the flow of life itself. Creation becomes effortless when you are not forcing outcomes, but are connected to the boundless source of being that wishes to express itself through you. The external world, the reality you perceive and experience, is deeply interconnected with your inner state of consciousness. The pervasive negativity, conflict, division, and suffering you observe in the world are, in essence, reflections of the collective state of human consciousness, the dominance of the ego, and the unintegrated pain body on a global scale. By transforming your own consciousness, by shifting your identification from the illusory separate self to the all-pervading presence, you intrinsically contribute to the healing and awakening of the collective. You become a point of light, a carrier of a different vibration, a living embodiment of a higher state of consciousness. This isn't about trying to change the world directly through external actions or imposing your will upon it. It is about embodying the change yourself, becoming the change you wish to see. As more individuals awaken and anchor themselves in presence, in being, the collective consciousness inevitably begins to shift, creating the fertile ground for a more harmonious, compassionate, and conscious way of living for all, the emergence of the new earth. This journey is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice, an ongoing process of deepening awareness. It means consistently recognizing the ego whenever it arises in its myriad subtle forms, observing the pain body without judgment or resistance when it stirs within you, and anchoring yourself firmly in the now. It means embracing and accepting the present moment, even when it is uncomfortable or challenging, knowing that resistance to what is the fundamental source of all psychological suffering. It means finding the stillness that resides within you, the deep sense of being that is always available, always present, beneath the surface noise and distraction of the mind. You learn to listen to the subtle intelligence of your body, to feel the vital life energy flowing within it, which becomes a direct and potent gateway to presence. You understand that true spiritual practice isn't about accumulating more knowledge, performing complex rituals, or striving for enlightenment as a future goal, but about cultivating a state of inner spaciousness, unwavering presence, and unconditional acceptance of yourself and life as it unfolds. It is a continuous unfolding, a gradual deepening of awareness that leads you away from the illusion of the separate self, the construct of the ego, and into the boundless, radiant reality of being. This is the path to ending psychological suffering and discovering the profound joy, deep peace, and unconditional love that are your inherent birthright, thereby creating a new reality both within yourself and in the world around you.